Hi, welcome to the first edition of Clallam PUD TV's Conservation Conversations. I'm Michael Howe, Executive Communications Coordinator, and I'm here today with Matthias Jarvegren, Utility Services Advisor with the PUD. And we want to talk to you a little bit about conservation, what has happened in the past, and where we might be going in the future. Now Matthias, thanks for coming and joining us today on this edition of PUD TV. So what were we doing with conservation in the past and why?
Well, so if you go back to the energy crisis of 2001, Bonneville Power Administration decided that they wanted to push conservation heavy. So they started a conservation rate credit. All the utilities that are customers of Bonneville Power Administration, of which Clallam PUD is one, receives a credit of 1/2 cent per kilowatt hour that we purchase from Bonneville Power Administration. That equals about $300,000 a year for us here at Clallam PUD.
Okay.
And then what we've been doing is we spend money on rebates and incentives for a variety of conservation measures and report that back to the Bonneville Power Administration. And what we need to do is essentially spend $300,000 on eligible measures within our service territory, or we have to pay that money back to Bonneville Power Administration.
Okay, so the Bonneville Power Administration are basically encouraging us to do this, but now there was a change a few years ago with as a result of I-937, where we're beyond being encouraged and now being required to do things. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. So back in 2006, the voters in Washington approved Initiative I-937, which has become the Energy Independence Act, which, as most people are aware of, the renewable requirements that require the large utilities in Washington to get a certain percentage of our power from eligible renewable resources.
And you said large utilities, so that includes us.
It includes us. We're
even as small as we are.
Yeah, we're probably one of the smallest of the large utilities in Washington State.
Okay.
What the Act also has, though, it has a conservation requirement. It requires the utility to come up with a 10-year potential assessment of all the cost-effective, economically achievable energy conservation that can be done within our service territory over a 10-year period.
Okay.
And we need to submit that plan every 2 years, the first one being due on January 1, 2010.
Okay.
Then we have to save 1/5 of that 10-year potential every 2 years, or we'll be subject to some fairly steep fines from the Attorney General of the state of Washington, fines that are equal to about $50 a megawatt hour.
$50 a megawatt hour, wow.
Right, exactly. And a megawatt hour is about 1,000 times a kilowatt hour, the common unit that we sell our electricity to our customers.
All right, so now as a result of I-937, which again was voter approved, we're required to go out and do more conservation than we were encouraged to do in the past, basically.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if you look at the chart that we put together, that shows the historical numbers as well as the current targets we're working with, you can see that the Clallam PUD has on average saved about 2 million kilowatt hours a year, going back to the chart starts in 2005. But the targets that we have for 2010 and 2011 have doubled from the 2 million to about 4 to 5 million kilowatt hours.
All right, that's a pretty significant jump.
It is, and it's significant also because when we've done some preliminary analysis on what the targets might look like for 2012 and 2013, that plan isn't completed yet, but we could be looking at higher energy saving targets per year on the range of 11 to 14 million kilowatt hours.
So we went from an average of 2 million to maybe required to do 14 million.
Yes.
Wow. So, okay, so we have these targets and we have these requirements as a result of I-937, but at the same time, we do conservation for other reasons, right?
Exactly. Conservation is also considered the lowest cost resource for a utility to provide electricity to its customers. In essence, we look at energy conservation as a way for us to provide electricity to our customers. The simplest way to think about it is that as the public utility in the Pacific Northwest, we have access to the federal hydro system, which is by far the cheapest way to generate electricity. And we want to be able to rely on those dams as long as possible. So it is actually cheaper for a utility to pay our customers to use a little bit less of our product than to have to go out on the open market to purchase electricity from resources that are different from the very cheap federal hydro system.
Right, and on the chart we're showing now, we have a number of those resources shown where you have the BPA power. That's basically the hydropower listed on the left here.
Exactly. It's about 4 cents a kilowatt hour that we purchase our power from Bonneville Power Administration. It's important to note that the numbers in these charts are just averages, and the rates we charge from Bonneville are a little more complicated than just a flat 4 cents a kilowatt hour.
Exactly.
You know, but as an example, if you look at some eligible renewable resources that we're also required to purchase as a result of the Energy Independence Act. For instance, wind power costs about 9 cents a kilowatt hour if we were to go out and purchase electricity from a large wind farm, or if we were to negotiate a contract to get electricity from a large-scale solar farm, the cost might be as high as 12 cents a kilowatt hour. For a comparison, we sell our electricity to our customers at 6.5 cents a kilowatt hour. So the percentage of our power that would come from renewable resources are considerably more expensive than the power that we're already selling to you. But for a comparison then, the energy conservation that we do, if we've taken an average of all the cost of our programs and all the savings we run of our programs, what we have budgeted for 2011, we're looking at saving energy at about a cost of 3 cents a kilowatt hour.
Wow, so it really is the lowest cost power.
It most certainly is. I mean, it's cheaper than the power we get from Bonneville Power Administration, and it's much cheaper than if we were to develop the resources ourselves from any conventional way.
And of course, in meeting these new conservation requirements and just conserving in general, we can't do this on our own.
Certainly not. So energy conservation is kind of a special resource. It's not like we can just go out and negotiate one large power contract, but rather we have to go out and engage with all of our customers and all of the owners of our company, because the PUD is a public entity. So we are looking to partner with you in order to help us lower the PUD's electrical costs. But then at the same time, you then stand to benefit of being able to lower your electrical costs at the same time.
So it's a win-win partnership.
It certainly is. And it also then will allow us to keep power purchase dollars within the county as opposed to sending it out of state to some a large entity that we would otherwise have to purchase electricity from.
Exactly. Well, Matthias, thanks for joining us today, and we'll have future conversations in conservation. For more information, though, on conservation programs, go ahead and visit our website at clallampud.net, and of course, read your monthly hotline edition that comes out with your bill. And until next month, thanks for watching.